Hey YouTube, it's me. I've already recorded this video a few times already, but I keep messing it up and I want to get it right. The first time I wasn't shooting in 1080p, and shame on me for that, but I think that I've got it now. Am I right? Maybe? Let's see. Just want to make sure I get it right, you know. But I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay. So thanks for your patience, and thanks to those of you who already watched this once. Basically, I'm doing my top 50 video. This was a tag a few years ago. Lightning2288 did it. It was a really cool community tag, and I know that the ballots are out for the YouTube Community Comic Book Awards, which is great. But I hit a real milestone in my collection today, and next month will be 5 years of comic collecting. So I really wanted to make this top 50 video. The first time I had made this video, my collection really was nothing to sneeze at. It was really nothing special. So I got 50 books to show. I think they're my 50 best, and I'm just gonna get started because I already did this video, and yeah. So I'm going to kick it off now with Detective Comics 201. This is the first appearance of the Human Target. Not an easy book to find. Every now and again, a few will pop up on eBay, but they're tough to find in nice shape. And I had first heard about the Human Target by watching the Arrow TV show. From then on, I found it at a comic show for a good price, and not that it's the biggest key, but if you see it, grab it. Night Nurse number 1, first Bronze Age appearance, Alinda Carter. Another book. This one's tougher to find, I think, than the Detective Comics 201. I got this book on Instagram. I got a pretty good price on it. I think I paid $60. I think at most anyone should pay for this, depending on the shape, is like $100 to $125, but it's got to be like cherry at that rate. But that's just me. And I'm not going to count them off because I'm terrible at math and I'm going to lose track if I try to count them. So apologies for that. Here's Wonder Woman 85. Another one that's a little bit trickier to find, and certainly a hot book now with Wonder Woman being where she is. This is actually the first Silver Age Wonder Woman issue, and I never understood. So Wonder Woman 98 is, I believe, her first Silver Age appearance, but this is her first Silver Age issue, and this is 85. So I'm not sure why that is, but if anyone knows, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could tell me. Really great cover, just nifty, and has got really nice colors. Definitely not the greatest to have to cycle through these again. Like I said, I already shot this video, and it had quite a few views, so I'm a little bummed, but whatever. And they're a little out of order from the last time I shot this, but whatever. They're still my 50 best books. Thumbs up, thank you, whoever that may be. This is magazine Conan the Barbarian and Savage Tales number 1. This is the first Conan crossover, and it is also the first appearance of Man-Thing. So, pretty cool magazine there. It's not the easiest to find either. And another one that it's just like, I don't know, I feel like I'm going to say that a lot with some of these books. But yeah. This one, I mean, you'll find these on eBay, but like, you know, it's not one of those books that it's like it's not the hottest book right now, shall we say. This book here I love. Grendel, number 1, Matt Wagner. This is Grendel's first solo story. I don't have Comico Primer 2. I definitely want to get a copy of that. But this one has a lower print run than Comico Primer. So pretty cool. And I love the art. and the story in this book. So really cool. More modern key now. NYX number 3. Picked this up probably like 3 years ago. Around that time, like, people were definitely starting to get a sense of basically that, like, Laura Kinney and X-23, like, she was going to be the new Wolverine. And that book was hot then. But it's really maintained itself. I'm pretty surprised, actually. It's still like at least like a $200 book. And I don't think they have plans for her in any future movies. So that's interesting. But like, she is basically the new Wolverine. So, and it's a great read too. All right, we got some Neil Adams goodness. Tomb of Dracula number 1. I picked this up in a massive trade a few weeks back. This book is pretty nice. My only complaint is that there's like a stain on the back, but like, other than that, I mean, it's a really, really, really clean copy. I would conservatively say it's in the 7s. This is one of those books, like, I would rather like trade for it, or like just find it at a better price, because like some people, especially in this shape, want like at least $100 for it. So definitely happy to get it in a trade. Dom Ricci, hey man, what's up? And I hope everybody, I mentioned this the last time I shot this, but I hope everyone's had a really nice Thanksgiving. I hope you're with your family. I'm not much for Thanksgiving. I think turkey's kind of overrated. And I kind of avoid Black Friday and all that, all that shopping nonsense. But yeah, I started watching The Punisher. I've had some time to do that. I'm 2 episodes in. I think it's really solid, really heavy stuff though. So anyway, this is another book I got in a trade. This is Aquaman 11. This is the first appearance of Mira. I think that this book has been going places for a while. I personally would like to upgrade it, but just with Aquaman being in the DCEU, and that now the Justice League's out, I still haven't seen that, but now that that's out, I see that book going places. And then another book that was variants, if you want, something that with her, like, as part of the story, that's like a key. That's just me. Anyway. Really cool X-Men book. This is X-Men number 12, first appearance of Juggernaut. This guy's got like a cult following, but I feel like the cult is pretty big for Juggernaut. Really underutilized on a lot of levels, and I always thought he was really cool. Really happy to get this. I picked this one earlier this year. Yeah. If I had to guess, I'd say like I'm 10 books in, maybe a little more. Journey into Mystery 112. I mean, I'll be honest, like, one of the reasons this one is in here is because of Thor Ragnarok, but also because this copy is really sharp. I mean, there's not a ton wrong with it, and it's a great read, great Jack Kirby art. Huge fan. I mean, so when Lightning 2288 first did this tag video, probably like 3-4 years ago at this point, he was saying how there was a lot in his collection he had to leave out, and I mean, I'm right there with him. Like, when I first did it, the first time I did this type of video, like, I was really, really stretching to get to 50, but now, like, man, there's some stuff I left out, and I kind of wonder why I kept this one in. Detective Comics 411, first appearance of Talia al Ghul. I think she's kind of an overrated character, but this book can go for quite a bit, and who knows where she'll be. I don't know. Lost my train of thought there a little bit, but definitely happy to have it, and definitely to not have paid a crazy stupid amount of money for it. I mean, 5 years into my collection, I'm pretty satisfied. I guess I'll talk about it more as the video goes on, but I've been able to kind of set myself up with a budget and go from there, really, and not overspend and wait for the good deals. But I don't know if I could have done what I've done in the last 5 years, like now. I think that market right now is just nuts. So you have to be even more selective. Anyway, this is Amazing Spider-Man Annual Number 1, first appearance of the Sinister Six. And this is another one of those books that like used to be really hot because it was tied to an upcoming movie. And then it cooled down because the movie got canceled. But I think that this group of characters is not going away. And to get them all as one, like, man, I could so easily see Marvel doing something with the Sinister Six. And I mean, I had to trade to get this copy. I traded in my local comic book store, and I'm not 100% thrilled with the condition. I mean, it needs an upgrade, but figure, you know, it's a fine placeholder copy at this point. And then Aquaman 35, first appearance of Black Manta. Another cool book. So, you know, prior to like a few months ago, really, I never would have picked up or sought out a book like this. This is Two-Fisted Tales 18. It's the first Western or War EC book. It's not the easiest to find, and I'll be honest, like it's a little bit pricey, but I bought it solely for the cover. The fact that it's like a hard book to find, especially in this shape, was just a bonus. Like I love that contrast from like the yellow to the brown. I just think it looks so cool. And then the way like the claw just shines like right at that point, like man, I just think it's cool. Like this is badass golden age goodness. I mean 10 center, like to get it in that shape all day long. Here's a cool book. Malibu Sun 13. Not too rare, but what's cool about this copy is that it's the Green Arrow copy. And I don't think they know how many of the Green Arrow copies are out there. This is the first appearance of Spawn, in case you don't know. And so I don't know how many Green Arrow copies are out there. I don't know if there's like a number, but I do know that CGC, as of last year, only had like 6 graded of the Green Arrow copy. Here's another wacky book. Rifleman number 10, the infamous log cover. Collectors go crazy for this one, apparently. I remember when I got this, actually. It was a few months back. I was with a friend of mine. He was late to a movie. We were going to go see a movie together. I think we were going to see like Assassin's Creed or something. And he was late, so I went to a comic book store, and I pulled this out of the bin for $12, and I was like, holy crap. And at first, like, I was so shocked that I thought like it was probably a reprint, but it wasn't. It was not a reprint. So, hey, you know what, Dom? It's all right if you're the other one here. Anyway, so yeah, it was not a reprint. Definitely happy to have that. This one's really cool as well. Amazing Adventures number 1, first appearance of Dr. Druid. This is a really early Silver Age book. I don't know if this I think this does predate the Fantastic Four. And I don't believe that this was Marvel yet. But if someone could correct me on that, that'd be great. This is a pretty nice copy. This was when eBay really came through. Not many people bid on this, and I was able to snag it for just over $100. And a book like this, you know, that it's not the easiest to come by, not the easiest to find. You just don't see these every day. To pay that little was great, and I almost kind of wonder if there was something done to it. But even then, I mean, whatever, right? Like, just cool. Daredevil 131, first appearance of Bullseye. Another underrated book in my opinion. Great Bronze Age. Cool story too. I really like this story. The intro and the origin of Bullseye. Another character, you know, like he might be a B or a C lister, but you know, I can't really think of too many other villains other than like the Kingpin, or any like legit villains of Daredevil. I mean, he tangled a little bit with the Black Panther. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm definitely happy to have this one. And I actually have 2 copies of it. The other one's lower grade, so I figured I'd show this one. Um, this is a cool book. Milk and Cheese #1, tough to find. I think there's like a 5,000 book print run on this. This is not the first appearance of Milk and Cheese. I have their actual first appearance. It's hold on. Eesh! That did not sound good, did it? Anyway, this is their first appearance. Greed #6. I didn't feel like that belonged in the top 50 videos, but I like Milk and Cheese, so there are a bunch of prints of this, and if it's ever not a first print, there'll be a message up here in yellow. So you'll know it's the first print if it's like a deep red and there's nothing up here other than Milk and Cheese. So pretty happy to have that. Hold on, let me just make sure that the book that fell is in no serious harm, because that would be bad. Okay, no harm done. All right, next book. Amazing Spider-Man 13. Oh man, this is such an underrated character. I mean, now I think he's starting to get the respect he deserves, because he's like, I think definitely one of the only major Spider-Man villains that hasn't yet appeared in the movie. But the only reason this one is so far down the list that I'm showing it so early is that my centerfold's a little bit loose in this copy. And that's the other thing too. Like in the last 5 years, the more I've collected, the more I've started to care about the shape of the books. I'm more lenient with shape on DC books than I am on Marvel, but like I want to upgrade this book. I mean, especially because it's Mysterio. He's like my favorite Spider-Man villain, or one of them anyway. I just think the possibilities with this character are endless. Here's another book I got recently. GI Combat 87, first appearance of the Haunted Tank. Super hard to find, and also super hard to get in nice shape. This one has its issues. When you see this book, people will want like more than $200 for it, and it's just been like beat to crap. It's been like peed on and pooped on and ripped to shreds. This one's certainly not perfect. It's got a pop staple, but the rest of the book is complete. Everything's attached. There's a little bit of spine wear and some slight staining, but it displays great. And man, I'm just happy to have it. I had to, a few weeks ago, I went to the trade, and it was the same trade day that I had with the Tomb of Dracula book that I showed earlier. And I traded a bunch of like bulk to get this, and I probably traded away like $400 worth of books, but like it was worth it for me to get this one. Like this is just, I mean, it was like a bunch of books that were nothing really that was too big, you know. They just kind of all added up, and it would have been $400, and I think that's why they were cool with it. Journey into Mystery 103, First Enchantress and Executioner. Really happy to have this one too. I'm going to see if I can fly through a few of these, because we're at the 19-minute mark already. Journey into Mystery 102, first appearance of Hela and Sif. Really cool book. I actually have, as of today, I only have 2 copies of this. First Venom, Spider-Man 300. I sold one to make room in my to get some money back, because I had used a lot of money to buy the book that is actually #1 on my list that you will see last. So if you can get this for a good price, grab it, because I think there's only a little while left before that one gets out of hand. And then Tales to Astonish 44. I bought this at Boston Comic Con 2 years ago, and every time I look at it, it reminds me of the seller, who was just kind of like just a kind of a douche, to be honest. I kind of wish I hadn't given him business, but this book, you know, where it is now, it's like, man, it's tough to find. Not tough to find. It's easy to find, but it's tough to find at a good price. I'm astounded by what that goes for right now on eBay. And then Superboy 68. I actually found this at a toy show. I paid $20 for it, and it's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect, but it displays great, and everything's attached. And this is just another, you know, quintessential, you know, Superman character. You know, another book that people want a lot of money for, but I mean, that's why I say, like, I don't know if I could get the deals I got then today. This one's in here purely because of the signature and also because it's one of my favorite covers. There's not really a key to it. I'm not really into like signatures on the covers of books, but I got this at my second ever Comic-Con. I got it signed by Stan Lee, obviously, and it's pretty badass. If anyone needs a recommendation on a TV show to watch, there's on AMC. There's Robert Kirkman's Secret History of Comics. I watched the first episode and it was unbelievable. Truly enjoyed it, and it goes into like the story of like, well, the first episode I watched anyway was like the story of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and how they basically built the Silver Age for Marvel. It's really cool. So this book is cool. So Tomb of Dracula 10, really nice shape. I'll tell a story really quick because it's worth it. I went to a yard sale about 25 to 30 miles from where I live, and the lady was like selling like all these modern comics from like the last 5 years for 50 cents each. And I was like, are there any other comics? And she said, I've got like a box of really old stuff. And, oh, so this is a live video for anybody watching playback. Thanks a lot, Carl and Bass. That was nice of you to say. So anyway, so she said, I have a bunch of old comics, but like, I don't know if you'd be interested. And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I'd be interested. So she brings out this box of comics. It's like in this like box of like computer paper, whatever, and it's all Silver and Bronze Age stuff. And this was one of the first ones I saw. It was probably like 250, 300 books, and a lot of it was reprints. But then there was Marvel 2-in-1 #1. There was Amazing Spider-Man 122. Just a lot of really, really good Bronze Age stuff. And when I saw this book, I said, all right, I got to make her an offer. And I said, what do you want? And she said, I don't know how to price comics. What do you think? And basically, I was like, well, these are a little bit older, so would you do $1 each? And she said yes. And long story short, I ended up getting the whole box for like $35. So that was just a case of right time, right place, right seller. That doesn't happen too often. Here's Amazing Spider-Man #9, first appearance of Electro. Really cool. And this is a book that I want to upgrade, but I just can't. I'm going to upgrade it and then sell it. I cannot sell this book. Like, I love this book so much. Tales of Suspense 57, first appearance of Iron Man. I'm such a big fan of this book, man. Like, just really cool. It's got a chip up here, and it does have cover wear, but it's like I'm gonna say it's like a VG plus copy. I cannot part ways with this book. Now this Fantastic Four #4, first Silver Age Submariner. I saw this book for the first time on Comic Book Men. It was actually one of the first episodes I ever watched. A young guy brought in like his dad's comics, and they had like CGC come on and grade all the books because he wanted to he wanted to help finance his college. I mean, I don't know how far his comics would have got him because college is expensive now, but like crazy expensive. But at any rate, so from when I watched that show, I had to get this copy. And I finally did. Like, it is not in the best shape, but it's complete. The staples are attached. That's the most important thing. There's like a stain up here and like general cover wear, but it's like I think I paid a little more than $200 for this book, and I consider myself lucky. Like, this is such a great book. I mean, this book here sucks all the air out of the room oftentimes. Fantastic 452. It's another one I'd like to upgrade, but I think I missed my boat. I had 2 copies of this at one point, and this was the sharper copy, and it's not even sharp, but it's good enough. It'll get me where I need it to go. And then Cap 117. I've like made lists of my top 50 books because it's challenging. You know, like I said, you leave a lot of stuff out. This is the book I leave out most often. I don't know why that is. I just have a tendency to like forget that I have the first appearance of Falcon. And I'm happy to get it. I actually upgraded it at the last Comic-Con that I went to. This one's pretty solid. The only thing is just like a tiny tear right at the top. doesn't bother me that much, but, you know, whatever. This book I got this time last year. I got this on Thanksgiving Day last year, Amazing Spider-Man #4. Got it on Instagram for Sandman. I was so excited. At the time, I think this was the earliest Spider-Man I had at the time, but I don't really remember. You know, the good thing is that when I first started collecting, I really prioritized Spider-Man. Like, I exclusively wanted to focus on Spider-Man. And so it was like silver, bronze, whatever. Like, I knocked down a lot of the keys. And actually, the only ones I'm missing right now, and this is a spoiler alert for the future of the video, the only ones I'm missing right now are 1, 2, 50, and 129. Like, after that, I have all the major Spider-Man keys. So that's pretty cool. The next book is, this one here changed the way I collect when I got it. The day I got this one, in the morning, I went to my local comic shop, and the owner was actually trying to convince me to, like, diversify my collection. You know, not move away from Spider-Man, but, like, you know, if I liked Marvel books, to, like, give other Silver Age stuff a chance. And, you know, it was going to happen sooner or later. Like, I just wanted to kind of expand and broaden my horizons. And at the time, the Inhumans movie was, like, rumored to be coming out. And, or not rumored to be coming out, but planned to be coming out. And I remember going on eBay that night after my local store owner told me to kind of, like, modify how I approached collecting comics. And this showed up on eBay. And I ended up being the only bidder on this. It's like a VG Plus copy. I think it was like $140 is what I paid. And that was, like, not a great price, but that's pretty much, you know, what you should pay for this book in this grade. Another underrated Spidey villain, Amazing Spider-Man 15, first appearance of Kraven the Hunter. Really cool. Really glad to have that in my collection. How many times am I gonna say that? Like, really glad to have it in my collection. I love these books, guys. I've been really productive in my first 5 years. Tales of Suspense 52. Another cool book. Just a little wear on the edges, but other than that, like, I mean, the colors are great. First Black Widow. Tales to Astonish 35. First appearance of Ant-Man, maybe. I know that Tales to Astonish 27 is obviously Hank Pym's first appearance, but there's some debate over whether that constitutes the first appearance of Ant-Man. I see both sides to the argument. I don't have a 27, but I'm certainly happy with this. So yeah. So we're really winding down. I think we have maybe 15 left, but the next one is, I'm kind of cheating a little bit. So I have these together. Batman Adventures Mad Love, the one shot, and Batman Adventures 12. Oh, Seeking Near Mints here. How about that? Just doing my top 50. So yeah, really happy to have both of these. Obviously, first appearance of Harley Quinn. This one here has a crossword puzzle in it, and it has, like, one bit of highlighter. That doesn't bother me. Like, I guess it's not technically perfect. I mean, there are a few spine ticks anyway, but whatever, you know. Really winding down. X-Men #4. This is such a badass book. I'm a huge fan. Like, first appearance of Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, first appearance of Toad. Man, like, such a great book. I bought this year. I actually had it on layaway at my local comic book store, and it took me like 4 months, but I paid it off. And not that I couldn't afford it. I just kind of wanted to take my time and not spend like $300 like in one fell swoop. So, and also it's got a lot of date stamps, but I love it. I think they look badass. I think it's got like 5 or 6 date stamps. Why it has that many, I don't know, but whatever. Next one, I'm cheating again. 2 books at the same time, 121 and 122. I don't care what kind of comic collector you are, you almost have to have these books in your collection. This is the end of the Silver Age of comics, a great story, the death of Gwen Stacy. Oh man, come on. Don't tell me I'm cheating. Anyway, you got to have these 2 books. Actually, hold on. This one is more affordable, and this one is tougher to get in nice shape in for a good price, but like whatever, you gotta. I mean, even if you're like exclusively a DC guy, you have to have those two books. Let me see here. Okay, this was an unexpected find. Okay, so my girlfriend one day last summer, I picked her up from yoga, took her to my house. She forgot her change of clothes at home. And she felt really bad about having to send me to her apartment to pick up her clothes, but I did it, fine, whatever. So while I'm parking, I see across the street from her apartment that there's a church sale going on, and there's a guy selling comics. And I ran over to his thing, and he only had one box, but this was the first comic I saw in the box. And I asked him what he wanted for the whole thing. I freaked out. I freaked the fuck out. I asked, what do you want for the whole thing? And he was like, $100. Ran to an ATM, gave him $100, hightailed it out of there. I got her clothes and I ran. And this was far and away the best book in the whole box. This book, the cover gloss is unbelievable. And I don't usually like why would you comment on that when it's got, I mean, there's other issues with it, spine wear, whatever. And one of the staples is like hanging on by a thread. But like this book just displays so awesome. Best $100 I ever spent, period. Let me see. Okay, this book, this was the first time I paid over $200 for a comic, so kind of a milestone in my collection. Amazing Spider-Man #6, first appearance of the Lizard. Then, okay. Here's another one, really winding down. Amazing Spider-Man #2, first appearance of the Vulture. This is beat to crap. There's some glue on the spine, and there's a pulled staple, and there are like these two cuts right here. But like whatever, it's mine. I only paid $250 for it, and like even now, like with even now, like a book in this shape, it's not perfect, but like man, you're gonna pay a lot of money for this book. Like I'm pretty confident I could get at least like $50,000 for this. So, it's mine and that's all that matters. So yeah. Here's another cool book that I think almost everyone should get. This is the start of the frickin' Bronze Age. Green Lantern '76, beautiful Neil Adams cover. It's actually signed by Neil Adams on the inside. Highly, highly recommend anybody pick this up. Just a great story and great art. And I mean, if there was a book in my collection that I'd like two of, just for the purpose of the cover, it would be this one. Really love it. Man, I shot this video twice, and the first time I wasn't shooting in 1080p, and it sucked. And now I'm already over the time I had on that video, so this is going to be a long one. Amazing Spider-Man 14. I'm down to my last few books, guys. First appearance of the Green Goblin. I bought this for my birthday in late July. I had some money lying around in PayPal, and I pulled the trigger. This book it's always hot, but right now it's like especially hot. And I'm not satisfied with this one is what I'm trying to say. Like I definitely want to upgrade it, but I am probably going to buy it and then sell this one. So yeah. And then Fantastic 448. I mean, this is another book. Every collection needs this book. Just so awesome and so key. I mean, this is one of the books that like changed. This like helped anchor Marvel, I think, in the Silver Age ahead of DC. That's just me. I mean, and it's so underrated. Like Galactus and Silver Surfer. I mean, who knows if Marvel gets the Fantastic Four properties back, but like, you got to have this. This is another book I'd love to have. I'll take like 10 copies of this. I'd rather have 10 copies of this than 10 copies of New Mutants '98. I don't know about you guys. Don the Comic Book Junkie, it is an honor to have you on my video, man. You are awesome. Really, really, really love your stuff. I wish you made videos more often, but it's good to see you here, man. And the chat is popping. I never expected that to happen on my videos. Okay. This is my number 2 on my list. Daredevil #1. I picked this up a few years ago. I was going to visit my friend in DC, and not in DC. What the hell am I saying? Visit my friend in New York. He lives in Brooklyn, and Jimmy C actually recommended that I check out this place called the Joe Koch Warehouse, but I had to call ahead because it's a warehouse. So I called the warehouse, and he said, yeah, you can totally come by, stop by for an hour. And he was like, just to let you know, we got a collection of Daredevil in yesterday. It's number 1 through 131. And like, I like didn't even care when he said it, because I was like, there is no way in hell I'm going to get a Daredevil number 1. So anyway, so I show up, and I'm kind of digging around, and I see it in a box that he just pulled in from his collection, and I'm like, what do you want for it? Because I was just curious. And he said 300. And like, I almost died. Like, like 300 for Daredevil number 1. This was before the show. And like, the show was about to come out, guys. I opened it up, and it did have some problems on the inside. It is complete. The staples are attached. But there was some tape. There were some tape issues on the spine. But while I'm looking at this book, I'm thinking like, okay, I actually have a friend at Harvard who does book restoration. And I knew he could help me out here. So he wanted 300. I thought that was a fair price. I got it. At the time, that was the most money I had ever spent on a comic book. And then my buddy who works at Harvard, who restores books, I gave it to him, and he was like, I can get it off. So he did get all the tape off the book, which is awesome. And the way he did it was he has a special knife that he heats up, and he puts it underneath the tape in the book. And you can actually see there was some up here too. Basically, like when you superheat a knife and you put it under the tape, it like removes the adhesive. And that's technically not restoration, because you're removing something that wasn't part of the original book without adding anything. You're just, taking stuff out. So I don't know. I'm sure people will have disagreements about that, but I'm so happy to have Daredevil number 1. Like, this one is just badass and cool. And then I have okay, so this is my number 1. It actually came into the mail today. This is one of the main reasons why I'm doing this video. Bang. Fantastic Four number 5, 5.0. This came in the mail today for me. This book here deserves its own video. And I will at some point shoot a video for it. But let me just say, like, if you want to get a big book, like, you have to give up a lot. Like, you're gonna pay big money for a big book, unless you get lucky, like I did with the Sergeant Fury, and even that's like in shitty shape. Like, I just like hunted this book for so damn long. It was like a 1.5 year long hunt, and finally I got it. And like, the reason I wanted it in the first place was just that, I mean, he's the king of the Marvel villains. Like, I don't know. And now people are starting to realize it, and now it's going crazy. When I first started my hunt for this book, I thought that I'd be able to get it for less than $1,000, but that is like not possible. All you guys talking about Iron Man 55, that book is going to crash and burn so quickly. No, I don't know about crash and burn, but it's not. I don't think it's ever going to be this level. I don't think Thanos is ever going to be the level of Doctor Doom, because he's not like at the top of the Marvel villains. And like, that's one of the reasons why I wanted this one so badly. Like, he is right up there with, in my opinion, with Ant-Man, with Iron Man. Like, how can you not be? He is the king of the Marvel villains. I don't know how many times I have to say that, but anyway, this video is at 40 minutes, and that is way longer than I wanted. And I think I cheated a little bit. I think I was maybe like 4 books ahead. But yeah, you know what? I'm really glad that the chat is hopping. This is exactly what I wanted for my top 50 video. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. I'm about to shut down this chat, but I hope everyone here has a good night, and I hope you enjoy my comics. Absolutely. See you guys later. Bye-bye. Oh, one last thing, actually. I'm going to probably, hopefully, in the near future, like I said, do a video on the Fantastic Four number 5. I want to say right now, I owe a huge amount of thanks to Anthony Reaper Tate. He really helped me throughout the whole process, and it's not like all sunshine and rainbows. It's actually kind of a tough story. There was a lot of like discouragement and like just a lot of freaking drama around getting this book, and I finally did, and I'm super, super happy. Anyway, that's it. I'm over 40 minutes. I wasn't planning on having it this long. I'll see you guys later. Thanks a lot for all the support, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. See you later.